And to shed more light on this report, we are delighted to be joined over the phone by Mr. Amr Kamal, Professor of Economics. Good afternoon, sir.
Yes, good afternoon.
So, sir, Egypt targets a 7% economic growth by 2030 and between 70 to 50 to 75% share of green projects in public investments, up from 50% in the current fiscal year. How much are private investments projected to contribute to GDP under the plan?
The private investments projected contribution to GDP in Egypt under Egypt's updated growth framework, the private investments are targeted to account for, let's say, 65 to 70% of total investment by 2030, up from roughly 40 to 45% in recent years. This shift is designated to reduce reliance on public spending and mobilize private capital for sustainable growth.
Yes, Mr. Amr, also, how does the new narrative align with Egypt Vision 2030?
Good question. The new narrative reinforces Egypt Vision till 2030, number one, by economic dimension, pushing for higher growth, let's say 7%, and a larger role for private sector investment. From an environmental dimension, the government aims at raising the share of green projects in public investment from 50% to 70 or 75%, aligning with the climate agenda. As for the social dimension, the aim is channeling resources to sustainable infrastructure, healthcare, education, and social protection. All this combined will need a lot of reform from a financial and judicial aspect as well.
So, sir, which sectors will the plan prioritize to strengthen Egypt's global competitiveness?
Practically speaking, Egypt's plan prioritizes sectors where it can build regional and international advantages. Number one, the sector of renewable energy and green hydrogen, to position Egypt as a hub in global energy transition. Number two, logistics and transport corridors, of course, due to the location of Egypt, and this means leveraging Suez Canal ports and industrial zones. Number three, agriculture and food industries, ensuring food security and export capacity. Number five, digital economy and ICT, expanding outsourcing, fintech and innovation in the ecosystem. Number six, tourism and culture, of course, capitalizing on our country's heritage and new projects. And last but not least, of course, manufacturing and industrial clusters with emphasis on textiles, chemicals, pharmaceuticals, and of course, the automotive sector.
So, sir, why is expanding public green investments considered essential for Egypt's development strategy?
Another deep question. Thank you for this question. First of all, when we speak about expanding public green investment, which is very essential, I would start with pinpointing the climate resilience, because Egypt is highly vulnerable to climate risks, water scarcity, for example, coastal erosion, like in Alexandria, and heat as well. And also, we should mention energy security. So in this respect, accelerating renewables will reduce reliance on costly fossil fuel imports. And of equal importance is investment signaling. Public green projects attract global financing, like green bonds, for example, climate funds, etc. And then job creation is another important aspect. And here we should mention green sectors are labor intensive and stimulate innovation, which is very important for a country which I would consider highly populated like Egypt. And again, last but not least, is the sustainability of growth, which ensures long-term competitiveness and compliances with global trade standards.
Yes, so sir, what external risks or global factors could influence the level of Egypt's reserves?
Yeah, if you want to explore the external risks affecting the reserves, then we should start by mentioning the global oil and commodity prices, of course, affecting import bills and trade balance. And then second is the Suez Canal revenues, which is sensitive to geopolitical disruptions and global trade slowdown. And third is the tourism flows. And as you know, the tourism sector is a highly volatile sector and is vulnerable to regional instability or global downturn. And then we should not neglect the importance of foreign direct investment, the FDI, and portfolio inflows as well, which is highly sensitive to interest rate shifts in the US dollar and in the euro as well. And last is the remittances from Egyptians working abroad and other businesses, which is tied to the Gulf region economic performance and labor demand, because as you know, most of the Egyptians working abroad are more or less working in the Gulf region and Saudi Arabia.
So, sir, in what ways might record high reserves impact investor confidence and credit ratings for Egypt?
Yeah, first of all, what we are aiming for is, if I may call, the positive credit outlook, which is very important not only for Egypt, but for any country aiming for jumping from a developing or underdeveloped stage to a more developed stage. So in this respect, the credit outlook, a positive credit outlook means higher reserves improve the country's external position and reducing the default risk. And then another also aspect is lower borrowing costs, which enhance confidence and may narrow bond spreads, of course. And then stronger FDI, I mean foreign direct investment inflows. By this, I mean foreign investors perceive greater macroeconomic stability, and this is the area where our government should focus on strengthening and boosting it. And then also the rating agency's assessment, reserves near $50 billion strengthen Egypt's ability to withstand shocks and supporting potential upgrades or stable outlooks.
Yes, I'd like to thank you, Mr. Amr Kamal, Professor of Economics. Thank you, sir, for being with us. And back to our reports from Egypt. The Ministry of Petroleum and Mineral Resources said in a statement that Egypt is studying the establishment of a gold extraction plant at the Iqat mine in Eastern Desert. Details in the coming report. The Ministry of Petroleum and Mineral Resources said in a statement that Egypt is studying the establishment of a gold extraction plant at the Iqat mine in